Should be some kind of sanctions against that place until they make some type of change.
But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me.
Is that something that, you wouldn't do, for?
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries.
And from the looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Kavenshané Wallace.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment.
We gotta let some air out of the ball, man. The country's getting a little tight. It doesn't feel like it's ever felt in my lifetime.
And that's the thing that hurts them the most, and so they end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are, and that's what the business does.
They've been hearing this one for years. Relax, it's just comedy. Men in dresses have always been funny. Flip Wilson did it, Martin did it, Tyler did it. It's part of the culture. The industry turned that into a running gag so powerful that most people stopped asking why it was almost always black men being asked to be the punchline. But somewhere between Dave walking away from $50 million, Terrence quietly getting labeled difficult, and Brandon admitting everything went left after he put the dress on, that gag started to look less like a trope and more like a test. Online fans stitched the pattern together long before Hollywood would. The dress, the "he's crazy" headlines, the sudden career stalls, the selective cancellations. They gave it a name the industry hates, a ritual. So now the question isn't whether a skit was funny, it's what it cost.
So what do you think? It's never been done before. 3 lovable drag queens driving cross country, helping middle America solve its problems.
Y'all want me to wear a dress?
Foolish. This isn't a throwaway role. You'll be carrying the emotional energy of the movie.
Man, it's not that I don't appreciate the offer, because I do, but...
All we're asking you to do is to take the script home, read it, and make a decision.
Then make the decision.
Foolish. There's a lot of money involved.
We're talking a major motion picture here, Foolish.
Can't hurt. Alright. I don't know, man.
Foolish, please. We're not supposed to talk about this yet. Harrison may be signing on as one of the other drag queens.
Get out of here.
Harrison.
Air Force Harrison.
Harrison.
Me and Harrison. Foolish Ways and
Harrison.
That's Harrison. So I guess that's me.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I ain't feeling that, man. I ain't feeling it at all. I thought y'all was casting a movie about the black experience in Vietnam.
That's down the road, man.
How far down the road? Because I got car problems right now.
Way down the road. Listen, this is now, Foolish.
Now.
We're talking about taking you out of the clubs and putting you on the couch.
On the couch.
With
Lena.
Oprah. Rosie.
Can I say something that every actor probably want to say to a couple of gentlemen like yourselves?
Sure. Anything you want to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Kiss my black ass. Man, I'm not selling out to do this. There's some people that think they're women. Damn dress.
2 studio guys in suits, a desperate comedian, a big budget script on the table, and that one line that always slips in, all the greats have done it. This is how you level up. The punchline is the dress, but the real joke is on the character who thinks he's securing a role instead of being tested. That scene hit because it felt a little too familiar, even to people who've never been on a set. It mirrored stories fans kept hearing in interviews and gossip, scripts that suddenly added a dress gag, producers acting offended if you push back. That quiet thread of, Do you want to be difficult or do you want to be big? In that moment, the dress wasn't fashion and it wasn't bravery. It was leverage.
Did you get like slack when you wore the dress at that moment?
It was like, wasn't slack from people. Only Cat Williams. Cat Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress.
He called you, or is this?
No, he was saying it in the media, so I thought he was heckling me. He was really trying to help me at the time. I didn't know that. I was immature.
Right.
I feel like, dang, why I'm trying to make it. Why you bashing me? And then he was trying to warn me, don't get in the dress. So the Awakened Brandon, you couldn't pay him $1 trillion to get in the dress.
Yeah. Was there like, how did they present that? Well, you knew right away you had to get in the dress.
I did the scene on Lottery Ticket.
Okay.
That scene on Lottery Ticket. After that, they were pushing his dress on me. It was something about that scene that touched a lot of people, and I think I was too real. I think they did the same thing like to Tupac. When you too real, they start looking at you like, hold on, how'd this slip past us? Who's this guy? You know what I mean? And then it's like, you know what? Yeah, he might be a kid. Just put him in a dress.
What do you think the dress is about? Is it to tone us down, to tone that realness down?
I think the dress, personally, is a thing that is not in our culture to do. And I think everybody will want to put their culture on us. And no, not to hate your culture or your God.
Mm-hmm.
If your God say you can put on a dress and your culture is normal for you, that you have the right as a human to choose that. But me, for my God and my culture, my ancient culture, we didn't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was cursed by it. I believe it was a curse that went with that personally, because nothing went right since then. That's truthful. No one can tell me, hey man, you thinking too much, man. You sit down, man. Everything went wrong. Just like everything went right. Everything went wrong when I put on that dress. I'm telling you, I lived it.
Yeah. Is there any like
even with Martin, things went wrong when he did it too, because Martin is very anointed. Martin is a very strong man. And Dave Chappelle said that too. He says things about that too. And if you look at Martin's Arsenio Hall interviews, you look at him now, something's changed.
Brandon isn't talking like a conspiracy theorist. He's talking like somebody who took the deal and woke up years later, wondering what exactly he traded. Big Mama's house was supposed to be a graduation moment, huge studio, built-in audience, the kind of role young comics dream about. And the dress was pitched as part of the joke. Nothing more. What makes his story hit is that he doesn't talk about it like a career win. He talks about it like a fracture. The work kept coming for a while. The laughs were there. But internally, something fell off. Spiritually, mentally, even in how people treated him once the hype died down. It's rare to hear someone who crossed the line and doesn't sound proud of surviving it. Just haunted by how different everything felt afterward.
Rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, well, until you see them at a Puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray. Oh, drop it.
Terrence comes at this from a different angle. Not as a comic, but as a man who's seen two versions of the same industry. The one fans are sold and the one artists survive. On camera, everyone's bulletproof. Off camera, the real currency isn't talent. It's favors. Silence. Compliance. His shock isn't about masculinity on screen. It's about what's demanded behind the curtain. Brandon says, I wore something I can't take back. Terrence is saying, I watched men do things they'll never be allowed to talk about. In both cases, the costume is the least important part of the compromise.
Accused him of fondling or touching someone at a bar.
Oh, yeah.
At a bar, and then they accused him of touching some dude.
It sounded like
Puffy's thing. I'm like, dude, that's not Cuba. He wouldn't. I can't imagine.
Really?
Cuba touching some man. No.
A man.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it with all the men?
And they tell him, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. Perform fellatio on me, and you get your deal. That was what I heard while I was on Empire. about some of the people in the business. And Petey Pablo, you remember Petey Pablo?
I know who that is.
Petey Pablo, talented writer, singer. Him and Young Buck wrote a song called Ho Is On. And in that song, back in about 2011 or 29 or something, because he called out all of the homosexuality taking place at those parties and those people, he was kicked out of the music business. No radio station would play his stuff. So you look for Petey Pablo, he's not around anymore. But that song, Ho It's On, they did not care. They went all in on it.
What is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff was wrong, it's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of slavery, they had a thing called breaking the buck, where they would take, not to go in a bad place, are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into the music. I'm gonna do it in the music, and I'm gonna, and get myself together. And they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you have a deal, perform fellatio.
By the time Terrence brings up artists disappearing without a scandal, it stops sounding accidental. No meltdown, no arrest, no viral moment, just a career that quietly fades. According to him, that silence isn't random. It's earned the moment you stop pretending the game is clean. The accusations don't need proof. They aren't meant for court. They're meant to live in people's minds. It's about breaking the buck. Destroying one example publicly so the message travels faster than any warning ever could.
Producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
There's a myth people love about Hollywood. If you're talented enough, you'll always land on your feet. Terrence's version is colder. Every no costs you something. Relationships, sequels, leverage. Eventually, even the benefit of the doubt. Doors don't slam all at once. They close one by one until the message is clear. You can keep your spine or you can keep your seat. You don't get both.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a and he put this dress on and what? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in a discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're a writer. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. The pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? We're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. what is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers come on, David would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so.
By the time Dave started calling himself a conspiracy theorist on stage, the joke wasn't really on him anymore. It was on everyone pretending they didn't see the pattern. Last-minute script changes, pressure, a room full of grown men acting like he was the problem for having boundaries. When he stops talking about comfort and starts talking about principle, the laughter changes. He isn't saying he's too macho for a costume. He's saying there's a line between playing a character and being turned into one, between using comedy and being used.
You disappeared for a while. People were saying, where's Dave? Where's Dave Chappelle? Where's he going? And then it turns out you took a trip to Africa. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they said.
Right.
It was
because
like,
the stories were, I mean, the stories, as you know, you're hearing all kinds of stuff on the news.
It was crazy, man. I mean, first I went to Africa to chill, and I tell you, hear a lot of black people say this, like when you go to Africa, especially your first time, you have this overwhelming feeling like you're home, which is true. I had that feeling like, man, this feels like home. I think I felt that way because there's a McDonald's in the airport. So I got me a Big Mac. But then it was like, it just got out of control. Like I was in Africa, and next thing I know, I started hearing all the stories like comedian Dave Chappelle's in a mental institution in South Africa. And I was like, man, I must be losing my mind.
Yeah.
Because I thought this was the beach. Yeah. And everybody calls me crazy. You know, I mean, it was just...
You're hearing on the news things like he's gone crazy, which that doesn't sound right, you know? And
well, you know, maybe I know stuff people don't want me to talk about. So
right.
we're going to what other people believe. So they'll call me crazy. But it was a weird thing to get called crazy. At first it was scary. And then now I feel like it's liberating. Like, I feel free, like I can just say what I want to do. They already call me crazy. I can't hold myself accountable for these things. I'm crazy. I can't be held responsible. Yeah. Couldn't control myself.
Yeah.
When Dave vanished, the headlines didn't say he chose peace. They said he lost his mind. Only a crazy person walks away from that kind of money. That story was easier to sell than asking why someone at the top would tap out. What gets left out is how wrong everything felt. How the jokes stopped feeling like his. How the machine started scripting him the same way it scripted his characters. The label wasn't confusion. It was control.
Is that something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for...
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so you know, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on the talk show this morning. You
look
said
good
no to
doing
that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, you know, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
Early on, Kevin sounded like the guy who swore he'd never sell out. Lines you don't cross, a brand you protect, answers fans respected. Then the sketch aired, the dress showed up, the deals followed. On paper, no one forced anything. But context changes everything. One man walked away and got labeled unstable. The other stayed, played along, and got crowned a success. Same system, 2 outcomes.
You were the first person I ever saw do it absolutely right. You were fearless, and you told the truth. There's something so true about this genre. When done correctly, that I will fight anybody that gets a true practitioner of this art form's way, because I know you're wrong. This is the truth, and you are obstructing it. I'm not talking about the content, I'm talking about the art form. Do you understand? Do we have an agreement? Sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are. I talk this like a lion. I'm not afraid of any of you. When it comes word to word, I will gab with the best of them, just so I can chill and be me. And that's why I love my art form, because I understand every practitioner of it. Whether I agree with them or not, I know where they're coming from. They want to be heard. They got something to say. There's something they notice. They just want to be understood. Love this genre.
Doesn't have to say names anymore. He talks about loving the art too much to watch it turn into a costume contest. Some comics push boundaries to tell the truth. Others will wear anything for attention. In a world where the dress shows up right before the biggest checks, the silence starts to sound expensive.
Political correctness has its place, excuse me. We all want to live in a polite society. We just have to kind of work on the levels and come to an agreement of what that actually looks like. I personally am not afraid of other people's freedom of expression. I don't use it as a weapon. It just makes me feel better. And I'm sorry if I hurt anybody, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Everything I'm supposed to say.
When Dave talks about contracts, he's not just talking money. He's describing a monster, something that eats everything you give it and never says thank you. First, they test what you'll do on camera. Then they test what you'll swallow off camera. Push back on either, and suddenly you're the problem. The dress, the bad deal, the smear campaigns, different tentacles, same creature. Walking away wasn't dramatic. It was self-defense.
I think that there's going to be a hangover after this presidency, unlike anything that I've ever lived through. Yeah, I think we've gone very far rhetorically, and I think that we just got a little mending to do. And I don't think that he's the kind of person that is culturally astute enough to really lead the charge on men in defense. It's hard to tell where Trump ends and his constituents begin, but I think that the rhetoric of his presidency is repugnant. I just don't like the way he talks. I don't like, we're living in a time where there's got to be a little more cultural sensitivity. And even a guy like me that's just writing jokes, I have to listen more than I've ever had to listen. Some of the things they say, even when they say that Russia influenced the election, it's kind of like, is Russia making us racist? Is that who's doing it? Oh, okay, I thought it was. Oh my God, thank goodness I thought it was us.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Huh?
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, if they kill the country that way, then we're the murderer.
That apology clip wasn't about remorse. It was about compliance. Smooth the edges, pretend the backlash was about sensitivity, not power. If none of this mattered, nothing would need cleaning up. When Dave turns his attention to politics, the theme doesn't change. Comedy becomes a weapon because it cuts through propaganda. The moment jokes start pointing up instead of sideways, the comedian stops being entertainment and starts being a liability.
See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses. And
By the time Kat breaks it down, the dress is just a prop in a bigger play. Scandals line up with money. Downfalls line up with benefits. In an industry built on illusion, nothing big is accidental. Once you see the pattern, the gag stops being funny. It starts sounding like a question. How far are you willing to go, and what does it cost you later? So when you line it all up, it doesn't feel random anymore. It feels like a test, a way to sort who will protect the system and who might tell the truth about it. And at some point, everyone has to decide which side of that line they're willing to stand on.